Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In this one I wanted to introduce Clam Av, which is an open source antivirus engine for detecting trojans, viruses, malware and other malicious threats. Now this product is completely free and this usually comes as part of various Cisco installations if you have. So this is open source and funded by Cisco. And we're going to work with the latest stable release version 0.103.3. Now if you look at a few things, this is the website URL, just clamav.net, and the standard, it is open source standard for mail gateway scanning software. So if you think about it, how you get a lot of viruses, that is through mail servers. Basically in your server, if you have a mail engine installed, a mail server installed, all the attachments that are coming and going, so those attachments needs to be scanned. So this is a very good tool to do that job. It's high performance. It includes a multi-threaded scanner daemon, which we are going to install, command line utilities for the on-demand file scanning and automatic signature updates. So people who like to play with the command line, so they will really like this particular tool. Then versatile. Clam Av supports multiple file formats, file and archive unpacking, and multiple signature languages. Okay, again, as I mentioned before, it's open source and it's cross-platform as well. So if you go to the downloads, you say they have a very detailed guidance on how to download the source code. If you want the actual source code, you can get it by downloading this clamav 0.103.3 tar ZZ file, and you can verify this file integrity by using this signature file here. Now what I'll do, I'll come down over here, and if you look at the versions and operating systems that are supported: Windows, Linux, BSD, Solaris, Mac OS. Now I'm on Ubuntu, so I'm going to click on Linux and see this Linux. It's saying these are the different type of distribution that are supported by default. So I'm on Ubuntu 20, so I'm going to click on Ubuntu, and this is now giving me here are the steps. You get the Clam Av, and then if you need the D for the daemon, then you need to also install the apt-get install clamav-daemon. Probably you do, and rest you probably don't need. So what I'll do, I don't have that right now, so I have created a small like a cheat sheet for this clamav, and we'll go through this together real quick. So what we'll do, we'll start our clamav from, let's see, where is it? Okay, so this got a little bit messed up, so I have to work on it. So our clamav on Linux, so we always start when we install something on Linux by doing a sudo app update. So we'll open up a new window, okay, and we're gonna do a sudo apt update and provide my password. And there we go, it's getting all update, and then I'll actually also do upgrade usually just to upgrade everything. So there is nothing to upgrade, so nothing new, which is good. So to get the clamav and clamdaemon, I'm going to get both of them together, and I'm going to say yes. So that is why I'm passing the -y. So what I'll do, I'll paste this command, sudo apt-get install clamav and clamav-daemon, and I'm gonna say yeah, get it. So now it's installing my clamav, the antivirus, and the daemon that is going to run the antivirus for us in my Ubuntu system. And right now it's unpacking. And if you need GUI, it's mainly clamav is a command line tool. There is something called clamtk that you can get and see if that might be available in Ubuntu. So we're going to check it out. So this command is now done. We got the command prompt back. So now we are installing apt-get install clamtk. tk is a library that you will find a lot of places people use to create UIs. So there we go. Now it's asking, do you want to install the GUI? I'm going to say yes. So that is going to install the GUI for me, and it's just trying to connect to that particular repo and getting the file for me. Now the next thing that we want to do, we are going to stop the clamav-freshclam. Okay, then we're going to update the freshclam. So this is going to update my clamav antivirus in my system. Okay, so kind of do this in steps the way that I'm doing. So you can, even before sudo systemctl stop. I'm just gonna check a status real quick, and if you look at the status, it's now running. Okay, so when we install the clam, it automatically installed and it started my clamv-freshclam. The service, it's already started. So what we want to do, I'm going to do Q, and over here I'm going to stop this service first. So now if I check the status again, it should say that it's not running. See, it's not running, so it says inactive. Okay, so once I get that one, so what we want to do, we are going to run this command, sudo freshclam. So this is really the command, it updates, okay, our clamv. So now it's downloading 112 MIB file. Okay, so what it's really doing is this, it's really getting the database file and updating everything within my system. So if you look at our command output, warning, ignoring deprecated options, that's fine. Then clamav update process started, and your clamav installation is outdated. Local version is 0.1032, recommended versions 0.1033, and it just said don't panic, read this, and daily CVD database is up to date. So this is what you always want to make sure, that this database is up to date. So now what it's doing, it's downloading the daily database, main database available for download, and then it's downloading the main database. So if you don't want to do it this way, you can also do it that way. You can also just do a sudo wget, then https database.clamav.net daily cvd. Then you can move that particular database file to the particular folder that you want to install the particular database. Once that's done, all you need to do is restart your clamav service again, and then you can start doing scanning and everything. So let me just do 1, 2, this might work, 3, 4, actually, yeah, this is done. So I'm gonna clean up it a little bit more. So let me check what it did over here. If you look, testing database, it went to varlib clamv.tmp, then clamv, this is the database. Now database test, they have passed. Now the main CVD, it got updated with signatures, and then bytecode database available for download, and then that's done more testing on the database, and database test passed. bytecode.cvd got also updated. So your main.cvd got updated, your bytecode.cvd, that database dataset also got updated, and that's about it. So I think we should be ready. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna check the status of the clamav-freshclam and see this is still dead or inactive. So we want to start it. So come over here, instead of status, I'm gonna do start, and then check the status again. Now if you see, now it's running. So I know my antivirus, we started, and everything is going well so far. So next thing we want to do, I'm going to skip these 2 steps because we have already done that, and this command pretty much took care of these 2 particular steps. So we have restarted the service. Okay, the other way to, you can also run this command systemctl start clamav-freshclam to start the service as well. Well, this is the same command actually, I just without the sudo. Yeah, so I don't need both of them, I'm just gonna get rid of it. Okay, so now you can test the command. Say I want to now use this particular antivirus, and I want to find infected file, and I want to scan recursively this particular file path var www.html. Do I even have this file? So let's come back over here. Let's just do var. I don't have, so I don't have Apache installed, so maybe I have downloads. Let's home. Okay, what? Okay, then downloads, no. Okay, so here I just want to scan. Yeah, I have downloads here like this. So what I'll do, instead of that, I'm gonna copy this and move this like that, paste it here, because this is the command I'm gonna run. So here, instead of you will have some username, so change to your username. So I'm actually gonna copy this one first. So this is gonna scan my downloads folder. Okay, so I'm gonna run this command, paste. So sudo clamscan, so that is the scan we're gonna do, and we're gonna scan home, the downloads folder that I have. So hit enter, and while this is going on, I'm gonna come here and I'm just gonna say user. Okay, so and then I'm gonna, for now I'm gonna save this one over here so I don't lose what I have done. And over here, what's going on, your scan is right now in progress. Okay, so it's not outputting anything yet. So let's come back over here and keep editing the file. So we are done, we have done this, and these two are actually optional. So I'm just gonna move it out here, and 6, I'm just gonna keep this particular step, and I'm just gonna say manual database update steps, and then I'm just gonna put this. Okay, so these two steps, if you're manually updating, you will need this. Okay, so now we are testing this command, we are in this phase, and there we go. So now the scan is done, and it's saying scanned directories, scanned files, infected file is 0, data scanned is that many MB, and data rate is that MB, and all of that. But pretty much it's telling me that I do not have any virus or anything infectious in my downloads folder, at least. Okay, so there are other commands that you can run. You can run a full scan by doing this: sudo clamscan suppress OK results recursive remove if it finds any problem in infectious file, it can actually automatically remove it. You can also do recursive scans, clamscan suppress OK results recursive. This command is something similar to this one that we have just tested. Now, how do you really know that this particular clamscan is actually working? There is actually a website called eicar.org, and they release eicar file. Okay, so if you go over here and eicar, if you do this, then you can go to the eicar.org, and that's gonna give you a file. So if you go to this one, it says anti-malware test file intended use. This file used to be named ducklin.htm or ducklin-html.htm or similar based on its author Paul Ducklin, and was made in cooperation with Carol. So this is really a test file that people will download just to test how effective or the antivirus system is actually working or not. So what we will do, we'll quickly download this file. Okay, to get the file, we're just going to run this command. Okay, so I'm going to make this one, and then we're going to move this particular file to our home directory, and then we are going to use our clamscan to remove this particular infected file by running this command. So let's just get started with this. So I'm going to go back here, and so this file it's just got downloaded, right? And then the next thing that we want to do, so actually before I run any command, I just want to make sure this file is downloaded. So if I do ls, then and eicar, so this is the file, I have it here. Okay, now we want to move this file, so I'm going to run this particular command to move it to my home folder. Alright, now it's there. Okay, so I'm already downloaded the home folder, so I don't need to perform this command. And now I'm gonna run this command and see if my antivirus can detect and remove that particular eicar.com file. So it's going through my home folder at the moment. Okay, and it should be able to find the file and clean it, and that would be the test. If that's the case, if we go back to our home folder and if there is nothing in there, then you see it's still in here. Okay, that means the scanning is going on while this is going on. Let's just go over here, comment the code over here, so I can give you this particular link so you know what to do. Okay, so that test is good. So now go back to our command line. Okay, so this is still doing the scan, so just be patient for a minute or so, and give your antivirus a little bit of time so it can scan through all the files, find the particular file. We should have probably put it in a particular folder so it doesn't have to go through all the files that that I have in my desktop or in my home. So what I'll do, I'm just going to pause quickly, and as soon as this is done scanning, I'll come back and complete the video. Okay, for me it's taking pretty long time, and I don't want to spend that much time. And one thing that you have to watch with the clamscan, that it needs it resource intensive. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to trick it so I can do this video properly. So I'm going to close this, I'm going to say Control C. I'm going to do another ls. So here is the file that I know is infected and should be detected by the Clam Av. I'm going to do a mkdir for infected. Okay, so that is the folder. I'm going to move this eicar file to my infected folder, and if I do ls, you don't see it here because I moved that to the infected folder. Right now you see this inside here. Now let's restart our clamscan, and instead of recursively scanning the home folder, which has got thousands of files right now, I'm just gonna look at infected and hit enter and see how long clam takes to figure out it's a bad file and fixes the problem for us. So let's just count and see what happens. And I'm hoping this shouldn't be too difficult for Clam. Now there we go, you see. As we expected, since there's only one file, it didn't have to recursively do anything. So it found a file and it was infected, so the file was removed. So it says scanned file is 1, infected file is 1, and there you go, start time, end time, and all of that stuff. So it's a known virus, and there is the virus based on their database. They have infected and they found it. So this tells us that our scan AV worked and it's working. You can use this to scan your operating system. If you do not have anything, maybe you are using Linux and you don't know what to use, I would recommend this solution, this particular product. Try it out and see if this is helping you to stay safe and secure. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'm going to give you my GitHub link, and that will have a little bit of more information, and you can follow through some of the steps that I have done in this lab. Okay, thanks for watching the video, and have a wonderful day.